Hey everybody, there is no such thing in life, fitness, finance, cooking, whatever, that is one size fits all. No matter how much we like to say it, there's no such thing as one size fits all. So I'm going to come at you a couple different ways, but something I noticed recently on the internet, on TikTok, especially for someone like me who has 218,000 TikTok followers and just under 10,000 here on YouTube, is as a content creator, I know how to piss you off and elicit a response. And it makes me sad that this is where we are, that everything is so contentious and everything is such a fight. Everyone is arguing with everyone, and we content creators are exacerbating the problem, and we're making it worse because we know it works. And it's something I'm trying to change as a content creator, as a finance person on finance, is being aware of how I'm making these videos. So I used to say, this is the best portfolio. This is the best beginners. And here are options for you, because I don't give financial advice. So I won't say, buy this stock, buy that stock, I'll say, here are 5 ETFs like this and 5 like that and 5 like this. And if you put them together, you'll have the best. And I know exactly what I'm doing, which is eliciting a response from you, because people are predictable, especially on TikTok and social media. I don't know if you hear that, but there's a new neighbor coming in and they are dropping everything in the hallway. I know how to elicit a response out of you that will boost the algorithm. So creators do it intentionally. We bait people. And like I said at the beginning, it's something I'm trying to change because I don't want to be a part of this problem. I want my community on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram to be for everyone. And I say this all the time. Investing is for everybody. Everything. Recipes, fitness, everything is just trying to improve everyone's quality of life. Learn to make something that tastes good. Learn a new exercise. Learn to start investing, putting money into your stocks, into your index funds, whatever. And we see it all the time. Someone will say, this is the best turkey sandwich. And I think, unfortunately, people are so miserable in their own life that they're looking to fight. And they want to get that frustration out there. That's why when you're driving your car and someone cuts you off, it's easy to just slam on the horn and yell at them, because you can't yell at your family. You can't yell at your kids. You can't yell at your boss. You can't yell at the IRS. You can't yell at people you want to yell at. You're definitely not going to go and pick a fight with your boss and tell your boss to fuck off and honk the horn at his face. So we bottle up all this anger that we're carrying for various reasons throughout our life. And you get in traffic and it's like the one place that you can let it all out, and you slam on your horn and you flip someone off and you tell them they get fucked and you feel better. And it's similar on social media too, because I don't see the other person. It's just a username. And so it feels like there's a separation there that I or you or the troll or whoever can pop up in the comments and tell you you're wrong. And not just you're wrong, but you're a moron. And I see it all the time on recipe videos where someone says, I use 3 tablespoons of butter, not for baking where it has to be exact, but I'm making this pasta dish and I put in 3 tablespoons of butter, and one person says that's too much butter, and another person says, what are you talking about? And it just devolves into nitpicking and yelling and fighting and arguing. And it's not even about the butter. It's never about the butter. It's never about, this is, here's my favorite turkey sandwich and I use rye bread. And then someone else goes, rye bread, are you kidding? That's the worst bread to use. And then someone else goes, you're wrong, you're an idiot, you've never had good rye bread. Yes, I have, I'm from New York, and we know, and it just chaos in the comments. And the guy who's making the video might know what he's doing. He might say, this is my favorite bread, knowing that it's the worst bread to put on that kind of sandwich. Someone knowing that you're one that I saw recently was the chef, the cook, whoever, the barista or whatever. He says, this is my favorite espresso. And the comments, and as someone who's now on social media, I know that guy is just trying to bait her. He's a barista in a high-end restaurant. He's not an idiot. He knows it's not espresso. And sure enough, if you watch the whole video, not 15 seconds later, he's saying espresso, 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 over and over and over. He hooks you because he knows that people are predictable and that he can say espresso and you're gonna launch into the comments, he's an idiot. And the chef doesn't care about his credibility. He doesn't care that it makes him look silly. He's baiting people. Everyone is in this bait mentality right now. And I definitely see it in the finance space too, where I make a video and I go, this is the best ETF. So I'm trying to move away. Now I'm being aware of what I'm saying when I'm making videos, saying, this is what I think is the best. You have to put these qualifiers. That's where we are right now in our society. You have to put in a qualifier. You have to say, I think this is the best. And I'm trying to switch the narrative from trying to bait people into fights to baiting people into conversations. So I'll end a video with, this is what I think is the best. This is the way I like to invest. How do you like to invest? And I'm trying very slowly to shift the narrative away from picking fights and letting people fight in the comments. But man, it's something that I notice all the time, is that people don't want that. They want to fight. They want to yell. They're miserable in their own life. And I think it's the people who are happiest in their own life, not only in their own life, so, from a excessive consumerism standpoint, where people feel bad about their lives, they're miserable, they're sad, and so they turn on TV and it's like, of course you're sad. You're driving a piece of shit Toyota from 1987. Buy our new Audi. You'll feel so much better driving to work in a luxury vehicle. And they fall for it. They go, yeah. And that decision tethers them to the job that they hate, and they're so desperate to escape from. And now they've got a $700 or $900 car payment, and that $700 or $900 car payment could have been going into an index fund, which allows them to retire earlier. But they're so susceptible to this marketing that they fall for it, and they buy the thing. They buy the car they don't need. They fill the void. And it's the same way, I think, with the fighting. They need to vent and get it out of their way. And the people who are the happiest in their personal lives ignore the ads, and they go, the car doesn't make me. I'm happy with my 1987 Toyota. And it's the same people who, they go into the comments and they try, a troll will try to bait them into a fight. And the person just goes, it rolls off of them. They go, this isn't worth my time. I'm not wasting my time. And as soon as you say that, I had it today in my live. The guy said, why would I ever invest in the stock market and earn a 4%? Crypto is higher. You can always earn more in crypto. And I said, invest how you want. And then he left. He was not in the live for anything more than to pick a fight with someone. He wanted someone to fight with about something stupid, because it's personal. Investing is personal. And you're not going to get any arguments from me. If you want to go and put your money in crypto, research it and learn what you're doing, and then fine. If you want to put all your money in high growth tech stocks and that's what's best for you, fine. There's no one size fits all here. And as soon as he realized I wasn't gonna sit there and go, you're wrong, the stocks are better than, he left. Not a moment later, someone else came in and said, why don't you tell us your net worth? Back up what you're saying by showing us how much you're worth. And I said, no. I said that detracts from the message. This isn't the channel where I come on and brag about my net worth, or brag about how many shares I have in companies, or tell you how much I made last year as a day trader or as a swing trader, or just through my dividend income. And people love to do that because it's contentious and they know it'll start a fight. And as soon as I said, no, it detracts from my message, he said, I knew you'd say that. And I said, well, you know what? I knew you'd say that because you're predictable too. And as soon as I said that, he was gone, left. But people will do it all the time on TikTok. They'll say, this is how much I made, because they know it's going to elicit a fight. They know that the algorithm is going to push it out because people are going to fight about it, and the comments are going to go off like crazy, and people are going to say stuff. And, people are so predictable. Someone will say in the comments, oh, you made 30,000 in dividends last year? That's nothing. And someone else will go, oh, you made 30,000? You're lying. Nobody makes 30,000. It's photoshopped. Prove it. And then the person who made the video goes, okay, here's the proof. And they go, it's photoshopped. You're a liar. And then you have people fighting about, is it a lot? Is it not a lot? And boom, boom, boom in the comments. And then it devolves into, I make more than you. I can prove it. Or I can tell I make more than you. Or I know I make more. And it's like, is this really what we're fighting? I mean, this is a channel, my channel at least, is to educate and empower people to start investing and warn them of the cautions of being a stock trader. And hey, if you want to trade stocks, here's how you do it safely. It's not a contentious channel. I have people who say, what's your method? And I say, this is my method. And they go, I don't like your method. Okay, find a different, there's no, I keep coming back to this, but there's no one size fits all. This is my method. This is the way I like to trade. This is the way I like to invest. Try it. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, no big deal. I'm not out here to prove to you that my way is the best way. I'm just here to say, this is the way I do it. If you want to try it, try it. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe you'll like my method. Maybe you won't. My feelings aren't hurt. I don't have to win you over. I'm trying to convince everyone that I'm right and everyone else is wrong. And there are a lot of channels on TikTok and YouTube that do that. My method is the best. My style is the best. Try it. If you don't like it, come to me, tell me, hey, I tried your method, I didn't like it. I'll tell you, go follow this guy, go follow that person. They have different methods from me. Try their method, maybe you'll like it. And they're always so caught off guard because they were expecting a fight. When they come in and they say, your method sucked. And I go, okay, go follow this person, try their method. They go, okay. They're expecting an argument and they don't get one from me. And they either appreciate, they're like taken aback and they go, wow, okay, I will go follow that person, thank you. Or they try to bait you into a fight. Of course you're gonna go tell me to follow someone because you're a loser. And it's like, okay, sure, if I'm a loser, okay. And they give up and they move on to the next person. But for me, investing, and this is just the way I like to do it, especially for beginners, because I notice that new investors especially, do the opposite of what we're about to talk about. So we talk about foundation first. I am a big believer in the foundation. And people always say, why do you do that? Why do you get my foundation? The foundation of a house is the largest and strongest part of your house. It should also be the safest. S&P 500 index fund that we know from looking at past data performs the best. It's the safest. Maybe it's a little slower, but it's set it and forget it. If you're new to investing, you don't care about investing, people tell you to invest and you don't want to research, you don't want to learn anything. S&P 500 index, set it as your foundation. The largest part of your investment. Get into the mindset every month, adding a little more. 30 years from now, this is what we predict you'll be able to have using past data, which yes, past doesn't guarantee the future, but it gives us an idea. Once you've got that foundation, if you're casual and you don't care and you're fine with that, great. And if you want the next level of your foundation would be dividend ETFs, tech-heavy ETFs that have larger growth, disproportionately larger growth, tech and growth, and then real estate, perhaps like a real estate investment trust. And then the next level from that, if you want, and this is because we know individual stocks are higher risk, but can also have much higher rewards. If you were to say, look at the growth of Apple over the last 10 years, or Tesla over the last 10 years, or Nvidia or Netflix or Chipotle versus an S&P 500 index fund, those stocks disproportionately have much higher gains. And you can also look and find companies that got obliterated. So that's why that's level 3 would be individual stocks. You really think Apple, Tesla, Netflix, fill in the blank will do well. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, which is why we stack it. Safest index, second safest dividends, tech, ETFs, and real estate. Third, individual stocks or dividend companies that you want to invest in. Fourth layer, which normally inexperienced investors make their foundation, speculative. Why? Because you're likely going to lose all your money. And this is stuff that you've heard about, that someone mentioned to you, that maybe you found on your own research. You saw a video on TikTok about this really cool new penny stock or altcoin or whatever that sparks interest in you. And yeah, it sounds cool, and yeah, but the problem is people always look at those kinds of risky investments and they think, how much can I make? And they never think, how much can I lose on this? And that's really what you have to think. If it's a penny stock and it's, penny stock is anything technically under $5. If it's $3, you want 100 shares, it's going to cost you $300. Are you willing to lose $300? Ask yourself that instead of, and maybe you are willing to risk more. Maybe you're willing to risk $3,000 or $13,000 or $30,000. Are you willing to risk that? Are you willing to lose it? Because if you look at the history of majority of these penny stocks, The majority of them are down 98% since going public. Are you willing to lose that? Instead of, oh, if I buy this $3 stock or altcoin at 27 cents or whatever, and then you start imagining, and what if it goes to this, and what if it goes to that? And you pull out your calculator and you start doing the math and you go, oh my God. And then the second question is, if you buy that $3 stock and you're thinking, if it goes to $400 a share like NVIDIA, but would you hold it that whole time? That's the next question you have to ask yourself. Would you hold it that whole time? If you bought a stock at $3 and you hoped and prayed, which is not a strategy, that it could get to $400 a share, what do you do when it's $9 or $15? Do you have the conviction to say, no, I'm holding this? Do you do the research and say, something has changed with this company and I'm going to sell, I'm going to take my profits here? Most people would probably take their profits. If you look at NVIDIA over the long term, the last 10 years, I would wager that not a lot of people bought and held the whole 10 years. I would wager that most people bought when it was dirt cheap, and when it got to a reasonable price where they went, oh my God, I doubled or tripled my money, they're out. So maybe you do that. Or maybe your approach is, hey, I bought 1,000 shares or about 100 shares. I'm going to take half or I'm going to take a quarter, sit on the profits and be happy, and I'll let the rest ride. Totally up to you, which is why, again, I say investing is personal. But my approach would be that foundation that we talked about, S&P, a variety of ETFs in real estate, individual, and then the most high risk would be speculative. But more importantly than all of that, learn to just ignore what other people say, because I think a lot of new investors come on social media and they scroll through the comments and they see someone who says, here's my best portfolio. And then the comments are, he's wrong, this is the best. No, you're wrong, this is the best. And it creates a blockage for that new investor who looks at it and goes, is the content creators index approach the best? Or is it this random person in the comments? Or this random person in the comments? And who is this content creator? And why am I trusting this complete stranger? Who's the best? Who's the best? And they get like, there's a term for it, like information paralysis. There's a real term for it though. And they go, you know what? I'm just not going to invest in anything because I'm getting thrown all these different things. So that's why I like to just say, this is mine, the foundation, the 4 layers. And the last 2 are totally, I'm having a brain fart here because I'm talking for too long. They're totally, it's optional. Even the second layer is optional. You don't have to pick those ETFs and the dividends and the tech and the real estate. You can just stick with the S&P. But it's personal, and you might find that you disagree. Let's have normal discourse instead of fighting and who's better and who's wrong and you're bald and fat and you're stupid and I'm richer than you, because it gets us absolutely nowhere. All right, everyone, that's 18 minutes of your life that I've taken rambling on. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.